Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, happy Q&A night. I will give us just a minute. I see a lot of people are joining in, and you're gonna see me looking like behind me because my laptop's over here and the iPad's over here, so I'm gonna be looking forward to see like all the comments and everything. So you'll see me kind of looking down a lot as I'm reading questions and comments and stuff. Hey Jane, hey Wanda, hey Paula. Hey Deborah. So our keyword tonight is live, L-I-V-E. If you go ahead and you put that in the comments here, check after the live is over, or whenever you want to leave it. Go into the Facebook Messenger and follow the prompts in there, and then it'll walk you through everything you need to get to follow everything we have going on. So as we get started, you guys can just start any questions you have. It could be cookie related, it could be cookie business related. Anything you want to know about me, you can go ahead and put them down in the comments, and I'll try to keep up as they're coming. Like I said, be kind of like a rapid fire type thing. So just let me know what questions you guys have. And just to let you know, it's raining like crazy here. There's a lot of lightning. There's all kinds of house fires. I just heard that the same house in our neighborhood caught fire twice. Their whole attic and upstairs like burnt earlier, and I'm hearing it caught on fire again. So hopefully everyone there is okay. I know they weren't home the first time, so it's kind of crazy around here tonight. Hey Deb, hey Sandra. Hey guys. So how was everyone's Christmas? Ours was really good. Relaxing day. Didn't do a whole lot. Just kind of sat around, let the kids open their gifts, mess with their stuff. It was a lot of fun. Hey Gloria, hey Tamala. So you guys don't get to see me a whole lot. I mean, my crew has seen me a couple times so far. I feel like I am on there a lot more, my face. But a lot of people probably don't get to see me. All you see is my hands most of the time. So I figured it'd be fun just to come on and do a Q&A, get to see me, see my face, see who I am, because I don't go on a whole lot. I mean, a lot of times it's just my tutorials. So you see my hands and, you know, everything else. So, oh, your grandbabies love the cookies. Cute. Hey, Cheryl. Cheryl and kids and everyone else. Hey, Allison. Okay, so like I said, you guys can ask me anything you really want to know. After we get through some questions and stuff, I'm going to try to switch over, hopefully, maybe. We'll see if it works. I'm going to try to switch over and see if I can go to my other shot from my phone, because if I can do that, because see, the thing is I have a webcam up here. It's hooked up, and if I can switch over to my phone, which I'm hoping I can, I'm not going to only get to show you the cookie room and stuff, but I can show you what it looks like behind the scenes here on the table. Because my webcam is actually kind of like attached on here to where I can't just pick it up and move it. It's on a stand. Hey, Faye. Just to let everybody know, if you've been waiting, if you've been thinking about it, if you know someone that's been thinking about it, our doors opened this morning for the next month for the Cookie Crew. Carrie is feverishly printing cutters for the next month. We have a really cute design, really cute. We have one custom cutter that she's printing, and then we also have another cutter from Ann Clark that's going out to everyone. So I wanted to let everyone know, real quick. Oh, can you hear me, Faye? Hopefully everyone can still hear me. Oh, Judy, I'm so sorry. That's so sad. I am so sorry. I wanted to let everyone know really quick, everyone that is in the crew this month, that was in there prior to today, all of those people are going to be receiving, along with their cutters next month, the skate cutter. It got a little difficult this month because we got a late start when we made the announcement that we were going to start doing it. It's tough because we were shipping and stuff around the holidays. So getting all of the cutters sent to us and then being able to box them and get them out. Then we started thinking, okay, we're going to spend X amount of dollars sending out one cutter when we can send all three at the same time. Cut our cost a little bit, and our tutorials tomorrow night anyway. No one was going to be able to get that cutter in time for the live tutorial anyway, so like I said, it was just a screwy month. But with us doing the announcement late, with, you know, the holidays, all of that craziness, I'm like, you know what, we're going to send the skater, because you guys are still going to get the skate if you're in the crew. Now, everybody that is joining starting today and forward, the people that are signed up today up until we close on Monday night, y'all will get the 2 cutters for the Valentine's Day month, and we'll be getting those sent out shortly after that. So once we close the doors, we'll be getting everybody's packaged up and everybody will get sent out. Trying to think of what else I was going to tell you all about that. So everybody that's in there now is getting the skate, and then everybody that signs up after is getting the two Valentine's cutters, which if you sign up, or if you're in the crew already, we are going to be announcing what the new designs are for next month. I'm hoping by the 1st. So on New Year's Day, I will be posting in the crew what the Valentine's Day designs will be for that next month, all about our cutter, all of that stuff. So that's going to be exciting. Yes, Belinda. So we work a month ahead. So if anybody's a little bit confused about that, we work a month ahead so that we're doing designs that you can work on for the following, whatever it be, a holiday season, whatever it's going to be. So for instance, this month we're working on just like a general winter theme that you would normally see for like January. So even though our tutorial is happening in December, it's looking forward for January. So then when we work in January on a tutorial, we're going to be working forward for whatever's happening in February. So our mid-month January is going to be our Valentine's Day. So that's going to be those designs for February. Okay, so if that makes sense, we want to kind of have it to where, because when you get into other holidays or like Mother's Day, stuff like that, we want to give you guys time. So if you want to make cookies for a loved one, for a friend, for a business, whatever you want to do, that you have time to work on those designs and get that stuff done ahead of time. So you're not doing it like super last minute. Jane says, as a new cookier, what are some of the must-have tools? Okay, so must-have tools. I would say invest in some good quality cookie cutters. And it doesn't mean you need to go spend a bunch of money on them. Just whatever works for you. Ann Clark makes really good ones. You can get really inexpensive metal ones at like cookiecutters.com, cheapcookiecutters.com. I mean, there's all kinds of different places you can get cutters at for inexpensive. Just find ones that work for you. Whether you like metal better, 3D, plastic, sweet sugar bell, whatever you like. Start to get some good cutters. Get a good cookie recipe. Get a good icing recipe. Once you have all of that kind of worked into the equation, then you can start honing in your skills. So I would always say start with that. You know, it doesn't really matter in the beginning what meringue powder you're necessarily using. You know, you don't have to run out and get like an airbrush machine first off. First, you want to start from the ground and work your way up. So the ground is getting a good cookie, good icing, using good cutters. Find like bags or something that's comfortable for you. If you like using tips better, use tips. If you like using bottles, if you like using tipless bags, work your way through them and see what works best for you. I'm just looking to make sure I don't miss anything. Belinda says, do I have to pay each month or will you just charge my card? So it's just set up as a payment profile in PayPal. So it'll automatically charge every month until you decide you would like to cancel. So that's how it works. It's hands off. And then if, like I said, for whatever reason, if you say, you know, I can't pay this anymore, or, you know, I have something going on or whatever, you can just, on your end as well, we wanted to have it where we can do it on our end if we need to, or you can handle on your end. So you can cancel on your end as well. Let's see. You can definitely do month by month, Karen. Yep, month by month. So like I said, we have an annual sign up, but if you do not want to commit to that whole year, you can just do it month by month. Have you ever made your royal icing with real egg whites? I have not, Patricia. I have only used meringue powder. A lot for that reason is because of cottage laws and food safety laws. So I've always just used meringue powder. I've heard of other people using it, but I personally have never even tried it. Yes, Loretta, do not, I can't see like your whole thing, but I saw you said about like keeping grease away from royal icing. Oils and royal icing do not mix, like ever. So if you have anything that has like an oil in it, You want to keep that away from your royal icing. Let's see. Tina says, I'd like your advice on freezing decorated cookies. Do they need to be packaged separately? Any tips? Okay. So, I'm going to keep I'm going to scroll up and down here in a second. If I miss stuff, and if I don't see it, and I apologize, type it again. Or maybe Carrie can let me know if I missed something. So freezing decorating cookies, I think I'm actually going to be doing a live on that, because I've had a lot of questions about it. That and packing cookies for shipping. Because even though I don't ship for profit, I still ship cookies to like my family, to friends, stuff like that. So I would like to do a live just to kind of walk through that and show that to everyone. But personally, just the quick and dirty, when I freeze, I will usually I heat seal them ahead of time so they're completely dry. And then I package and heat seal each cookie individually. And then I layer them in an airtight container and then pop them in the freezer. The key is when you take them out of the freezer, do not take that lid off. You want to keep whatever air is in there. You want to keep that temperatured air out. You don't want to bring in outside temperatured air that's different. You want it to all come to room temperature together with the lid on it. So keep the lid on. I usually say at least 12 hours usually. If not, maybe like an overnight, a whole, whatever. You'll know kind of when they're thawed out. And then at that point you can take the lid off and then you can just unpackage them. How do I catalog my cookie cutters? So I have all of my cookie cutters displayed. They're just on the other side of the wall here out by my garage. They are on pegboards, and I used to have them, they're on like the peg hooks on the pegboard. I used to have them alphabetized. They're not anymore. They're not anymore because I've been so busy and I haven't had time. But they're out there. But then I also there's an app called Sortly. I use that app to, every time I get a new cutter, I take a picture of it, and it's cataloged in there. So I can quickly go through that app on my phone and look to see, okay, do I have a cutter that's like this? What do I have? And I can quickly look things up that way. So I have a Cricut. I have a Cricut cutter. I do make stencils sometimes on that, but not a whole lot because I don't have a lot of time. Cindy, if you were in before this round just opened up, then you were grandfathered in. Because the round that opened up for the Cookie Crew, that opened today, was the new prices that it went from $27 to $29.99. So if you were in the group before today, then you're grandfathered in at that price unless you cancel. If for some reason you have to cancel and then you want to later come back, then you have to come back at whatever the price is at that given time. Megan says, why corn syrup in the icing? I put corn syrup in my icing for a couple reasons. It gives the icing a little bit of a softer bite. It doesn't dry so hard and crunchy. And it also gives it a pretty nice shine, especially if you're going to dry the cookie in like a dehydrator in front of a fan, anything like that. It helps your the dried icing have a little bit of a sheen to it. So I do that for both those reasons. Oh, Melissa, I feel so bad for you and your arm. Deborah, I can't see the rest of your comment. I said where you said you would like to preserve the cookies from the 12 days of Christmas tutorials, and you said something about the only sealer you found. So I'll have to see if maybe you just give me the back half of your question. Because unfortunately, when I'm here on live, I can't, it says see more, but when I go to tap it, it doesn't do anything. It'll only let me see things after the live is over. Facebook's weird. Tips for beginner airbrushes. Do you mean, Maritza, like which brand? Or do you mean like tips for beginning to use an airbrush? Yeah, Tina, I'll lay the sealed cookies on top of each other. And if you're worried about laying them directly on, you can put a layer down and then lay like parchment paper or freezer paper. And that gives at least one little layer of protection. But I've never had a problem with it. Oh, great, Cheryl. That's awesome. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll down so I don't miss anything. And you destroyed a bunch. Yeah. See, the thing is, I've never let them sit because usually when I take them out of the freezer, they're only there long enough until they thaw, and then I'm popping them out because I need them. So, Ann says don't leave them sitting out. I'm going to go with you, Ann, because I've never waited that long to take them out. The app, Cindy, is called Sortly. It's S-O-R-T, like you're sorting something. S-O-R-T-L-Y. Belinda, on the Cricut, there's actually like food safe stencil material that you can buy. It comes in like sheets. You can use that for stenciling, and it's just a real thin, I forget what the millimeter is. I can't even tell you. I have packages somewhere in there. And it's like a real thin, clear plastic, and it kind of has like a frosted type look, like stencils you'd buy from like the Cookie Countess. And you just cut that through like the program. Let's see here. I'm just scrolling down, guys. I'm trying not to miss anybody. Valine, I have only ever used meringue powder. I have never tried fresh egg whites for real icing. Oh, good, Deb. I'm glad you were happy with it. Deborah, you're asking about, are you talking about kind of like a sealer, like a polyurethane? Is that kind of what you're looking for? If you're not going to be eating them, let's say you're just wanting to seal them to preserve the look of them. Like you don't want the icing to ever chip. You don't want the icing color to fade, whatever. I would say you probably don't need a food safe one. You could still use, that you would use for something else, like crafting or something. You could probably still use that because you're not eating it anyway. So it doesn't necessarily need to be food safe. It shouldn't mess with the integrity of the cookie or the icing. I say that, but I don't know a whole lot of people that have ever tried to seal them. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, because the thing is, sugar cookies pretty much preserve themselves. What I'll tell you what I think is a good idea to do with them, which I did with some of mine I made some that it's in my cookie room, and one of them actually fell. I got to take it apart. But I made cookies that spelled out Dots and Bows cookies, and I put them in a shadow box. So that helps preserve too, because they're not sitting out in the open, they're not sitting out in the air, and it kind of helps preserve them in there as well. So that would be a good idea too, is maybe do something like that. Let's see. So Elaine, normally if it's just like a 2 dozen cookie order, and this is for Texas, so every state cottage law is different. If you're operating under cottage laws, they're all different on how you have to label per that law. Mine is, if it's like an individual cookie, right? So let's say it's going to be 2 dozen cookies. They're all like a logo cookie or something, right? Then every single cookie has to have a label on the back. And in Texas, we're required to list our allergens. So you put like eggs, wheat, soy, dairy, and you have to mark what allergens are included, and you have to have your business name and your address. Those all have to be on there. And if I'm selling like a set, right, let's say it's like a cookie gift set and it's in a box, and there's like 2 or 3 cookies in a box, you can put a label just on that box because it's all packaged together, if that makes sense. Maritza, you say you're beginning to use an airbrush. Okay. Airbrushing is like, first of all, it's going to take tons of practice. So just know that. Practice, practice, practice. A lot of it is just going to be getting used to the feel. So what I suggest is when you start using an airbrush, practice with pulling back on the trigger, because that's going to be your biggest battle, is learning how much pressure you're pulling back on the trigger for how much you're trying to do. And always remember, less is more with airbrushing. So if you start with anything, start with those tips and just practice, practice, practice. Y'all hear that thunder? It's crazy here, okay? Michelle, the airbrush system I have a couple of them. I have a couple. I have one that I've had for a long time. I got it from Amazon. I don't even know what the name of it. I'm trying to look at it. It's sitting over on that's usually the compressor I use because it's just the one I have out all the time. It's called Tyrell-X is the brand. I got that from Amazon. But to be quite honest with you, that compressor is no different than like the Cake Boss compressor, the like the Cookie Countess compressor. They're all pretty much within that same realm. So that's the one I use, and then I also use like the Cookie Countess gun. I do like her guns, and I like how she has the one that has like the bigger barrel on the top that holds more. So I have a couple. I also have a backup compressor, a whole kit that I didn't have as a backup because one of mine went out one time. And it's from Sweet Shop, and that's the brand, Sweet Shop, and I bought it at Michael's. So I have a couple of different ones floating around over there. Let's see. Donna says, I'm new. Why do I get a blob at the beginning and end of piping? Usually that's because you're putting too much pressure on the bag. So when you first start to pipe, and you have the tip of your bag hovering pretty much right above the top of your cookie, you want to make sure that you're barely giving enough pressure just for that icing to start coming out, and then as you go, just have even pressure. When you're getting towards the end of when you want to stop, right at the end, right before you want to have it to end whatever line you're piping or whatever you're piping, you want to stop giving pressure and let it stop, and then just stop it right at the end. It's really hard to explain. It's easier to show. So if you're going to be in the crew, that's a good place because we walk through all of that kind of little stuff. But a lot of it's just the pressure that you're squeezing the bag when you're applying the icing. Robin says, do you use baking powder in your cookie recipe? If so, do your cookies sometimes spread? No. Okay. So this is like a big, I don't know if you want to call it an urban legend. I don't know what you want to call it really. But I see it all the time in cookie groups. Let me say it here. Let me say it loud for the people in the back to hear. Baking powder does not cause spread. Okay? Baking powder, if you kind of just research the science behind cookies and what each ingredient does and what it brings to the table and what causes what in reactions, baking powder actually makes your cookies bake up. They give them a little bit more of a fluffy texture. They don't spread out. They make your cookies go up. Okay? Baking soda has been known to cause spread if that's ever in a recipe, but baking powder does not, and that's a common misconception that people have. And oftentimes, the reason why I use baking powder is, one, I like my cookies to go up a little bit. I like them to be fluffier. And two, I feel like without it, my cookies are dense. They don't have that fluffiness that baking powder gives them. They're a lot more dense. They're more like a brick to me, especially since I make a little bit of a thicker cookie. I make a 3/8 of an inch cookie. So baking powder definitely is a go for me. Everybody's different, and I understand that. But I always want to make sure everybody knows the science behind it. Baking powder does not cause spread. So if you're having spread, it's something else. And if you are, we could discuss that too, because spread can be from a lot of different things. Belinda says, how do you invoice your customer? Oh, Belinda, there's tons of ways to invoice your customers. Personally, I like to use PayPal. I know there's so many different apps out there. You can use Square, PayPal. I can't even think of all of them right now. There's so many. So you just have to find the program that works best for you and what is, easier to navigate for you. Belinda says, how long have you been decorating cookies? I have total from the time I picked up cookies and started really trying to learn. It's been almost 6 years. Yeah, almost 6 years. Pam says, where can you get those food labels for ingredient labeling? I order mine off of Vistaprint and I create them myself. They're not like a pre-made thing. I don't know if there's anywhere where you can order them pre-made because every state's different in what they ask that you put. Some states want you to put like the net weight and all kinds of stuff. So I go on Vistaprint and I design it. We design it ourselves on labels, and then we just have them printed and they ship them to me. So again, just you'd have to find out, whatever works for you. Vistaprint's great because they run a lot of specials and it's relatively inexpensive. You can definitely switch guns, Belinda. Airbrush guns. Yep. You definitely can. It shouldn't matter as long as the gun has like the top load barrel. If it's that kind, you should be able to interchange them as much as you want. Gail, the Pico projector. So If you, after this live, if you go back to on our main page you're on now, I did a whole in-depth tutorial on the Pico projector and how to save images, how to save fonts, how to the whole gamut of it. So there's actually 2 parts to it because when we were doing it, Facebook dropped our live or something. So there's actually 2 parts to it. But if you go back through the videos and find it, it's a great tutorial to learn everything about the Pico. Cindy, so Carrie, my sister who helps me out with all the techie stuff, she did our entire website. So I can't tell you a whole lot. I know a little bit. If I really have to go in and do something with it, I could probably manage. But she does all of that side of it. So she could probably answer some questions if you had it. But I know Wix is one of the good ones that you can go on, and it's a lot more user friendly than other platforms out there for websites. So that's another thing too. Jesse says, I live in a very small town. Just started making cookies. Want to try a pop-up shop. Tips or advice? So your biggest thing is getting word out there. Because you'll find that you can have people come to your pop-up that aren't in your very small town. People will travel for cookies. I have someone that she drives 45 minutes to come get cookies from me. There's probably other cookiers closer to her, but she chose me. She likes the cookies that I make, and also she likes it because she orders gluten-free from me, and she has a hard time finding a gluten-free baker that she likes the cookies and that they're actually gluten-free. So your biggest thing is going to be getting your word out there. Word of mouth is huge when you have any kind of cookie business. Word of mouth is going to be like your best friend. So anything that you can do is, getting people talking about you, advertising, doing local advertising, Facebook, advertise in like mom groups on Facebook, your yard sale sites. Anything you can do to get your name in front of people is going to be the best thing to get people out there. And the more you're doing them, the more people that come shop are going to tell other people about it. So the more that you're doing them, the more you're going to bring people in. Audrey, I do not sell stencils, no. I do not. I hardly ever even mess around with stencils. Yeah, Cheryl, I can show you all my labels here in just a second. What size tip is the best to start for a beginner? So it depends, Donna. If you are going to just be doing like outlining, detail work, usually around a 1 is going to be really good for that. Really fine writing, which is kind of tough when you're first starting out, so you probably won't do that for a while. But they make smaller tips like a 0.5 that are really good for that. And then for flooding larger areas, you always want to have maybe like a 2 and a 3 available too. So I would say 1, 2s, and 3s would probably be your really good start tips if you want to use tips. Y'all, the thunder. Cindy, yeah, I have to put I don't have to list my ingredients on my labels, but I have to list allergens. That's what my state requires from me is the allergens. They don't care about me listing every little ingredient in it. I just have to let the customer know what allergens may be in that product. Belinda, I can't do a pop-up shop at a local business in Texas. Not according to my cottage laws. I can go sell cookies at a not-for-profit that's ran by like a church, the city, municipal, something like that. Like if they're having a festival ran by the city, I can do that. But if it's for any profit business, anything like that, I cannot sell cookies there. I can't even give out samples there. Let's see. Did you have someone make your cute little cartoon character? So actually that was a vector image that we purchased. A lot of times we'll buy vector packages, and again, Carrie handles a lot of that stuff because I don't. But we go through companies where we find vector images like that, and we buy them for commercial use. So we don't necessarily design all of those. Deb says, with the Pico, all I know how to do is clip and then paint. Can you actually do more? Oh, clip art and then paint. Oh yeah, Deb, there's tons. Watch our Pico tutorial, Deb, because I walk you through like saving things in Publisher, saving things from online. It's really informative, so check that out. Pam, yeah, I could probably share it with the crew. I'm going to give you a real big secret. The only difference in my gluten-free recipe is the flour. So I just swap out regular flour, wheat flour, with gluten-free flour. And I can let y'all know what brands I like. So I can post that in the crew and let you guys know. Karen, so here's the thing. What I always tell everyone, I don't get a whole lot of gluten-free orders, and I'm not doing a ton of orders these days anyway, but what I always tell my gluten-free customers is there's always a percentage of a chance that you could have some sort of cross-contamination. However, when I'm going to be working on gluten-free, I always make sure that I highly sanitize my kitchen, my mixer, all of my tools, everything I'm going to use for it to really keep that chance down. And they understand that. And one of my main people that orders gluten-free, her son that she orders them for is only intolerant. He's not allergic, as in he's not going to have a huge reaction. He just doesn't settle with him. So if I always make sure everyone knows that. So if someone has a really super severe gluten allergy, I'll probably tell them, look, I can't guarantee you anything. So I'm always upfront about it. But like I said, I haven't had any clients that have that severe of an allergy. They usually just have an intolerance to it. I know, poor Hannah. She's scared. Kathy says, are all colors used for airbrushing a matte finish? Most of them are. So you can actually order, I've used them in my live before. I'm looking over at my shelf because I have some over there. You can order like metallics that have like a shiny metallic finish to them. There's pearl, where they have like a pearlescent finish. So they're not all matte, but the majority of them are. But they definitely have different ones. And if you go to our website, like if you put in the live in the comments here and you follow everything afterward, we have a link in there to the website for our products page. And every single thing I've ever talked about or used on a live is on there. So I know for a fact that our metallics and our pearl and all of that stuff are on there. So you can check those out as well, because there are a few different things that you can use that just don't dry matte. Let's see. I know Carrie needs to do a tech night. It's crazy, y'all. She handles all that stuff because, whew. Yeah, Allison. Yeah, people that have the celiac. Yeah, that's like major time. So Vicky says, do you have any tutorials on starting a cookie business? Vicky, I am actually, now that the holidays are wrapped up, and I have a little bit more time on my hands, I am actually in the process of mapping out my second ebook, and hint, hint, I think it's going to be geared towards cookiers this time that are wanting to start a cookie business. So I'm kind of working on the ins and outs of that right now and what I want to include, and I may be asking some questions here soon to feel everybody out to see what you could even tell me. What are your biggest things you want to know when it comes to starting a cookie business? Because I'm thinking of writing an ebook about that to really give a good foundation to start from. Because I know when you've never done it and you go to start it, it's like deer in the headlights. You're like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. Because there's so much involved in it. There's so much, from advertising to pricing to, if you want to have a website, there's so much stuff, to your state laws. So I'm going to be trying to work on that here pretty soon and get that all wrapped up. I've been trying to do it, but with everything going on, it's been kind of crazy. Oh, you're welcome, Debbie. What was the spray that you used? What spray are you talking about, Belinda? Marilee, I can only see part of your question, but you said, dumb question, when you use Everclear with your glitter powder, does the alcohol dry / pull out any? And then I can't see what you said after that. So you'll have to just let me know what your tail end of that question is. Because I can only imagine what the other end of that question is, because that's a whole thing on itself, is using Everclear and vodka with metallics or any of that stuff. Now, if you're talking about like edible glitter, I don't use alcohols or Everclear, any of that with edible glitter. I just put that on wet icing or wet airbrush or, you know, whatever. I don't ever use alcohols with them. So if you mean that, or do you mean like the metallics, like the Super Gold? Oh yeah, Cheryl, definitely. Like the advertising. Yeah, advertising is like so crazy. Allison, I can only see the beginning of a question. You said, for your book, how do you get hundreds of cookies done and get sleep when it's just you doing the, I'm assuming that means the work. So that, a lot of that comes with just learning your flow. So when you are, everyone does things differently. So when I'm doing cookies, I have a specific way how I spread out my workload. So I may like bake all one day. And then the whole next day is going to be like, I map out, I set a goal for me for what I need to get done that day. So I'll say, okay, my second day, I want to have all 100 of these flooded. Or I want to have all 100 of these flooded, and then I want to have like one other step done on them. So I kind of map out ahead of time before I even start them to kind of see, okay, what's my timeline? What am I comfortable with? Because a lot of it is how quick you are and how comfortable you are in what time frame you do things in. You know, where I can do 100 cookies may be different for somebody else that does how quick or how slow they do 100 cookies. So a lot of it is just gauging it from your skill level and your comfort level, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Yeah, Jane, pricing. Pricing is always a huge question. Deborah says, is there any insurance needed for a cookie business in your home? Not necessarily. A lot of people recommend an LLC, which I'm probably going to be doing sooner rather than later. I don't plan on doing a whole lot of custom cookies anymore. I'm still probably going to do some around holidays and do like a pop-up shop here. But I won't be doing a ton of custom orders just because I'm doing a lot more of our teaching. So a lot more of my focus is on that now. But a lot of people sometimes they like to have the LLC because it protects them. That's the like the LLC license, like the business license. That kind of is an umbrella that protects your business and you personally. Because if someone were to come after you for something, it protects you too, all of your assets. So that's another good thing that you may want to look into. Oh, are you talking about furnishing spray to make them shine? Are you talking about the sealant that Deborah was talking about? Deborah won the 12 days of cookies from our 12 Days of Christmas live. She won all the cookies, and I think she's wanting to preserve them. So she was asking about what she can spray on each cookie as like a sealant on it. So not making them more shiny for like eating purposes. She's wanting to seal them to keep them and preserve them, if that makes sense. Cindy says, when will you be working on Valentine's Day cookies in the crew or live? So I believe January 17th. I think that was the date I had on the calendar. That's going to be our big Valentine's tutorial in the crew. And then we'll also do a secondary tutorial a little bit later in the month. And then I'll be working on them probably maybe by the end of January. I'll probably start toying around with some Valentine's stuff on the main page on our weekly tutorials. So you'll be seeing that stuff coming up here pretty soon. Teresa says, your thoughts on the Copy Cake projector? I have never used one, Teresa. I have never used it. I've only used a Pico. I know, like, the Copy Cake is kind of like the old school. I just have never had one. I've never used it. I feel like yeah, I heard my dog. She doesn't like storms. Allie, we shared my royal icing recipe in the crew. So if you are in the crew, if you go into that group, that page, it's under announcements and topics. So it's listed there. Vicky says, I would love to know what to do once you pick your business name. What do you mean? How to pick your business name, or what do you do after you have it? Like, do you mean like advertising after you have it, or how do you go about picking your name? Marilee says, alcohol dry / pull out any of the moisture in the royal icing beneath the painted on metallic. Okay, so I don't think I've had that problem. I can tell you why that may happen. That means that you are putting, when you're applying the metallic on, it's too heavy with alcohol. And I'll tell you, the higher alcohol content you have, the more of your friend it's going to be. Because the faster that evaporates, the less pitting, if I think that's what you're talking about, like the little pitting where it's moistening up the top layer of your royal icing that you're painting, you're going to get less pitting the higher alcohol content you have. That's why I always tell everyone, if you get your hands on Everclear, do that, number one. But I know not every state can get that. If you can't, get the highest like alcohol content vodka you can get your hands on, because that is going to evaporate that much faster, and it's going to cause less issues with the softening of the royal icing, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Yeah, Tina, I will probably be trying to put some kind of like, I want to have more kind of like a visual type thing too. So I'm thinking about when I'm writing the ebook, I may be trying to do more kind of like a timeline, right? So it would be a couple different examples of how you may pace out a timeline of a cookie order that you have due, right? So I'll give you a couple different examples of timelines of how you may, whatever your comfort level is. You know, like I said, you may bake all in one day. Maybe you're okay with baking and then also flooding on one day. So I'll try to give some examples of how you can get accustomed to different workflows, if that makes sense. Kelly, the largest cookie order I've ever done, trying to think. Well, I don't know if it's the largest, but right before Christmas I had a corporate order of 250. And they were broken down into gift set boxes, and so they were 50 boxes of 5 cookies each, and they were for an advertising firm here in downtown Dallas near me, and they were sending them all out to their clients that they handle for Cricket Wireless. So that was one of the bigger ones. I don't know if it's the largest one I've had, but it was pretty large. Let's see. Okay, Allie, yeah. So if everybody, I want to let everybody know that if you sign up for the group today until it closes, we'll be letting everyone in after our last tutorial for our current members, which is on the 28th. So on the 29th, we'll start granting access to everyone that signed up to that point, and so that you can get into the group and start acclimating and maybe watch some older tutorials or whatever you want to do, so that you're in there and ready to go, so that when we release stuff for the next month. So yeah, so watch out for that, because we just have to give everyone that's a paying member this month, we have to let them get through all of our tutorials and our lives this month that we still have to do, because we have one tomorrow night and then we have one the following night. And then after that, everybody that's new can come into the group and, you know, do what you need to do in there. It is raining, y'all, like crazy. Let's see here. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is a good place to advertise. So you do not have to necessarily have a business license in your state. I don't have to have one. I got one just because I felt like it was a good thing to do, because down the line, if I start doing other things, like now I'm running a tutorial group where it's not the same thing as a cottage home, you know, a cottage-based, home-based baking business. Now I'm on a different end of it as far as like taxes and all that stuff type goes. So I wanted to have a business license just to cover other things that I was going to be doing. But if you're just doing cookies, check with your state laws too, your cottage laws and all of that kind of stuff, because I can't tell you about every other state. I just know here in Texas I didn't need to have one. I just did it. Kathy says, I love my royal icing with corn syrup in it because it gives the icing a shine, but it takes longer. I'm assuming you're going to say it takes longer to dry. A lot of that depends on where you live, Kathy, and what area of the country you're in and what your climate is. If you're finding it takes longer, what I like to do, you don't have to have a dehydrator or anything. Get a small table fan and just pop them in front of the fan. It'll cut your drying time at least by half. So give that a try too, because it lets them crust over that much faster, and it'll be a lot faster for it. Teresa says, so you think the Pico is worth the cost? Where's the best place to purchase a Pico? Thank you. Yes, I do. If you're going to be making cookies on a regular, definitely. It is a definite. If you are going to be making cookies on a regular, you want to practice more, you want to hone your like piping skills with wording. It helps all around. It's helped me get better at when I want to like hand sketch things. It's honed in my skills with all of that. So I definitely say if you're going to use it enough, hands down, it's a great investment. I personally got mine off of Amazon. We have a link to it on our website. I don't remember if it's on our product page or if it's in our affiliation links. It's somewhere over there, but it's to the exact one that I have here. And we also have like the stand, because the stand, none of that comes with it. The stand and all that doesn't come with it. But before you purchase one, you might want to watch the live that I did, the tutorial I did on the Pico, because there's different ways you can do it. You can either use it wired, and if you have to have certain attachments. So if you're going to use like an Apple, it's a different attachment than if you're going to use like an Android or your laptop or something like that. You can use it wirelessly like I do with just a thumb drive. So I always say watch that tutorial first, and then gauge how you may want to use it, and then you can buy what you need from going forward. Because then maybe if you don't want to use wire, if you don't want to have it wired, you don't have to spend all the money on those attachments and stuff. No, Belinda, the vodka, the Everclear, none of that leaves any kind of flavor behind it. All evaporates out. Allison says, how do you stop cratering? Sometimes cratering is just going to happen. A lot of it has to do with like the humidity in the air. I noticed today it's so humid here because it's been raining all day. I got a little bit of cratering that was happening when I never get cratering because most of the time it's dry here. We live in a drier climate. So a lot of it's going to depend on that. So I'll know on days like today that I need to keep my icing a little bit on the thicker side versus the thinner, because the thicker your icing is, the less craters you're going to have, number one. If you're filling in small areas on a design, a tip I'll give you is do the outline, and then also in the center use a thicker icing, like a piping consistency icing. Just do like a dot in the middle or a line, and then fill it in with flood, and that'll help the middle from sinking in and cratering as well. Cheryl says, is there anything to keep the painted on gold from rubbing off? Most of the time, Cheryl, that's happening because you have a little bit too much gold that you've applied to it. That gold, especially like the Truly Matte Plastics or any of those kind of metallic golds, they go a long way. So just make sure that you're not over applying it, because anytime that's ever happened to me, that's happened because I've just added a little bit too much. So it's added too much and there's like a layer on the top that rubs off. Let's see here. Karen says, do you know what makes fast drying rail icing fast drying? I like my rail icing, but it dries too fast for wet. I don't know, Karen. I've never used the fast drying, so I can't tell you one way or another how or why that works. I don't know. I've always just made my rail icing from, you know, the powdered sugar and the meringue powder and stuff, so I really don't know. I'm sure you could probably Google and find out, but I'm not sure. Deb, the cookies that we're going to be doing every month, some are more of a beginner, some lean more towards like middle of the road, and then there's usually like one that's more of like on the advanced side. So I try to have it to where I'm kind of catering to everyone and what season they're in with their cookie decorating. So I try every month, I try to keep in mind an array you know, and I always tell everyone, if you don't think you're to a level yet to do it anyway. Try it out, because you'd be surprised, number one, what you may be able to do that you didn't think you could do. And number two, it just gives you practice. So even if you mess up on it, it's practice. It's doing a skill that you probably have never done before. So it kind of breaks you out of a comfort zone a little bit. You're in your own element. You're not doing it in front of everybody else. You're not like in a public setting in a class doing it in front of others. You're in the comfort of your own home. So I always tell everybody, take the leap and try it. You never know what you'd probably be really surprised sometimes on what you could pull off. Let's see here. Oh, you're welcome. Pam says, if we signed up before the Christmas deadline for the crew, can we access now? Or I can't see the rest of your question, Pam. I'm trying to see what you were saying. What Christmas deadline are you talking about? If you're in the group now, Pam, everyone should be in the group that signed up prior to today. So everyone has already, if you signed up prior to today in our last enrollment window, that was open during, I think, our 12 days, we have already sent you your welcome email, all of that. I think everybody was already in the crew. So if you're already in there, you should have access to everything inside the group. If you signed up from today, everyone that signs up from today through the 31st, we'll start adding people on the 29th who signed up from now until the 29th, and everybody that signs up after that will just immediately get added, because our tutorials for this month will be over. Yeah, Maritza, the rain can do, woo, it's crazy. Let's see here. Oh, you're so welcome. You guys are welcome. Oh, Carrie says we have a few people from the last enrollment window who haven't requested the group yet. So if you're on here and you signed up and you guys haven't, we sent you all a welcome email that has like the link to request to get into the group and stuff. If you, for some reason, missed that and didn't see it, make sure you get in and put a request in for the group. And if for some reason you don't have the email anymore and you can't find the link or whatever, just shoot us a message and we can get the link sent to you so that you can get requested and get into the group. Belinda says, what brushes do you use? I have a couple different kinds. I actually have some sitting right here. They're on my desk. So I have these that have like a pink handle. These were, I don't know if you saw that. You probably can't see it in the air. There's like a little bit of like gold dust left on that. Look, you can see it, I bet. Floating. These are pink handle ones. They were specifically marketed. They're from Hobby Lobby. They were specifically marketed for like cookie decorating design. So I have those, and then I just have these blue ones. These are actually like an artist brush. They have the same type of like the hair on the brush as the pink ones do, but these I got, they are like a standard artist brush, but I have only used them for cookies. So I usually will just get, and I have a whole different array of them. Like I have like the fan brush, you know, bigger ones, the real tiny ones for like detail work, some fluffy ones. So, you know, I just have a couple of sets there. Donna says, should we use 2 consistencies of royal icing, or can you pipe and flood all at once? You can definitely pipe and flood all at once. As a matter of fact, that's what I do 95% of the time. One reason being I'm too lazy to mix up 2 consistencies. I'm not going to mix words. It's just the way it is. I'm too lazy. But if you have like a medium flood, you can definitely outline and flood with that exact same consistency. So you only need 1. Let's see. Yeah, Pam, definitely check to see if you still have that. Belinda, like I said, I bought the pink brushes at Hobby Lobby. The blue brushes, I think I bought at like Michael's or something in the art, like the artist section, the art section with like all the canvases and the paintbrushes and all of that. They were both like multi-packs. That was rapid fire, y'all. Rapid fire. So it was really exciting today because right before I came on the live, we ordered our second 3D printer because our group is growing that fast. Our group is growing that fast, y'all. So we ordered our second 3D printer so that we could keep up on production of all of our custom cutters. So that's exciting. So we have that going on. That will be arriving soon. Kimberly says, can you double your... You definitely can. Yep. If you have a big enough mixer that can handle that, for sure. Like my bigger mixer, I have 2 that I use in there. I have the smaller, I think it's a 5-quart, and then I have the Pro 6-quart. The 6-quart can actually make a double batch. So you definitely can double it with no problems. Oh, Loretta, yeah, the fan brush I use a lot of times if I'm doing like detail work, like a watercolor type paint, stuff like that on Cookie. So that's usually when I use that one. Zona, I don't know if I will ever do custom cutters for like sale. I don't know if I'll ever go down that route. I don't know if it's something that I'll ever want to entertain to do enough. I think we'll have fun enough. I think here coming up, I'm going to have a printer here as well because Carrie does all that right now. But now that I'm tailoring back on my custom cookies and I'm not going to be doing so much of the cookie decorating, mainly just for the crew and stuff or maybe some pop-ups, I'm probably going to be taking on some of that weight as well just because, like I said, our group is growing so fast and it's awesome and we're super excited, but we have to keep up with the demand on the other side of it too. So I'll probably be doing that. But down the road, who knows? I mean, we may open that up and do, you know, a lot of cookie cutter companies that start out and they do it out of like their homes or whatever. A lot of them run under the business model of they will take time and they'll only open maybe once a month for a sale. And they'll print everything out ahead of time so that they know exactly how much inventory they have. And once it's gone, it's gone. And then they don't open up another sale until they've had time to print more. So you never know. Down the road, we may do something like that. We'll see how everything kind of pans out. Let's see. Have you used royal icing transfers from a printer? No. Are you talking about like edible images, Belinda? If that's what you're talking about, I have. I actually used to have my own edible image printer, but I didn't use it enough. And to be quite honest with you, I don't really like edible images like on frosting sheets and stuff. I don't like them on cookies. So I don't have it anymore. But if I ever need them, my local like cake and cookie supply shop or whatever can print them. But if that's what you're talking about, I have used them. I'm not a huge fan, but if you need something that you definitely can't like replicate yourself with icing, they're a great tool to use. I just personally don't like the taste of them and stuff, but you know, everybody's different. Let's see. Do the cutters come with a stencil or step-by-step picture to show the steps? So we are going to, when we send the cutters out, we actually have a like a little picture. Excuse me, I've been drinking stuff, non-alcohol soda. I had Whataburger tonight. Whataburger. We are going to be sending like a little printed image with the cutter. That's going to be showing what the little image is to show, okay, this is what this cutter can make, right? And then I will be designing a cookie with that cutter that's going to replicate that image just on Cookie. So you'll get to see exactly what design we have in mind before it's even on Cookie. Peggy, you say your eyelashes are distracting me. They're not real. I get eyelashes done every month because, back to the same thing like I said before, I'm lazy and I don't want to wear mascara and I don't want to do all that, so I have those done for me. Oh, Cheryl, yeah, you had to make sure you were in the crew. Y'all, let me see if I can switch over really quick to my phone. I'm going to see if I can show you. My phone doesn't have a lot of, it does not have a lot of charge. So let me see if I can switch over and I can do like a quick and dirty little scan here of the room, and I'll show you my labels really quick. Okay, let's see, my phone. Okay, y'all. Let's see what happens here. Hold on one sec. I'm going to see if I can pull this up on my phone. If I can't, then we'll try to do this another day too, but where is my app at? Hold on, y'all. I probably should have walked through this before I did it, here it is, before I tried to do it, but you know, that's just not how I roll, I guess. Alright, hold on, let me try to set this up. Mobile. Connect. Okay, it looks like it's trying, so let's see what happens here. Lori, so the price is, if you were in the States, it's $29.99 every month, and that includes your 2 cutters and 2 different tutorials. If you are in Canada, it is $37.99 just because our shipping cost, we have to pad that for our higher shipping cost to Canada. Okay, y'all, look, it's going to work. Hold on, let me cut over. I hope, tell me if the sound is weird. Because I think we had this problem.
Okay, hold on. I'm echoing.
Can you hear me? Cannot hear me. Let me know you can audio on here because I don't know what this is coming from. I turned off the webcam volume, so I'm hoping it's coming from my phone. If you guys can hear me from my phone, let me know. Carrie says yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to pan back here. So if y'all can see, that is the table I set up. That's my cookie table, and you can see it's a mess, y'all. Look at all my wires and stuff. Mess. And then my laptop there that we have all like the programs on, all of my lighting. I'm actually missing a light over there because it broke, so I have to get a new one. So you can see like my stand there that has my webcam on it, and then like my little tablet there where I can read the comments. So that's my little table. That's where I decorate cookies at. That's like my little cup of brushes and stuff. So I'll do a real quick scan. Like I said, this is quick. That whole yellow thing is full of edible glitters, pump bottles and all of that. Back there, like all you can see my spare I heat seal in, icing bags, clips, all of that. My rack here. Some are still on trays, some aren't. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm hoping you can. I'm holding my phone. I'm hoping you can hear the sound through my phone. I'm still unsure where the sound's supposed to be coming from. I think it's from my phone since that's where it's coming from, but I can't guarantee that. So let me know if so it may not be as clear as it would be when I'm hooked up to the webcam when I'm hardwired. So this is the my big rack that has like all of the trays on it. These are some cookies. I'll give you a sneak peek that I worked on today for someone that's retiring, and that's all the airlines he worked at and some fun retirement cookies. So there's that, and then over here I have this hot mess. Yes, so those are lids that you can put over the top of the trays. So I have down And these are full-size sheets with the full-size lids. I get all of this is the whole rack. The sheets and the lids are from Webstaurant. Restaurantstore.com. You could Google that. Yeah, it's probably from. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's like a little shadow box that I put my cookies in, but my end came out for some reason. It kind of fell, so I got to fix that. But that's my dehydrator. There are a few things, the sprinkles there that I need to put away, some color. This hot mess is a bunch of packaging. So that's all from Christmas and stuff that has to be cleaned up. This is my photo tent where I take pictures of cookies. I have all kinds of crap thrown in there right now. My Pico on its stand is in there, and some cookie cutters, and my notebook, and all kinds of stuff. I have boxes of boxes over there. This is normally where I put like orders that need to be picked up, but right now there's just all kinds of crap on it. Like I said, my room is a mess. Probably tomorrow, I'm going to spend a good portion of the day trying to get it back in order. This is a whole box full of like paper shred boxes, just all kinds of fun stuff. I'm going to check the pans with the lids. Those are aluminum pans. They're like the bun pans. They're called bun rack. That's a bun rack and bun pans. The rack is from Webstaurant, like W-E-B. So instead of Webstaurant. I'll try to get the link when this live's over, and I'll put it in the comments for y'all to like the rack and everything. I think we may even have it still on the products page. I don't know if we do or not, but I'll put the link into their website and you can check it out. The tent, I got that off of Amazon, and I believe that for sure is in our products page. So we have the link to that as well. And then I just have this like hutch over here. It's full of stuff, y'all. I just can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. Look, that's all tulle that I do for like packaging. You just don't even know the insaneness in here. Let me find my labels wherever they may be. That's not my labels. Hold on. Logo labels. Let's see if this is it. No, that's just my logo. Y'all, I have stuff everywhere. That's not it. Let me see. I may even be out because I haven't done any orders lately. So if which I may not, we'll see. See, these are old ones where I just listed out all of the ingredients, but they don't have the allergen on them. I might even be out. Look at all these, y'all. I'm ridiculous. I have all kinds of stuff. So I don't know if I have any of my new ones. I may be out because, like I said, I have not done any orders in quite some time. Not since my Christmas stuff. And I think that's when I used the last of my labels. So once I can let you know what I put on them and stuff. But I have so you have less shadow. It evenly distributes the light in your pictures for better pictures of your cookies. Okay, I don't want to make everybody dizzy by walking around. Okay, I'm going to switch back over. Let me grab my chair. Over so I don't run my battery. Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm back on the webcam, and I'm back on the webcam sound. So the sound is really patchy on my phone because when it goes to my phone under the app, now I'm under Wi-Fi. Whereas when I'm on my webcam and it's plugged into my laptop, I'm hardwired. But with all the weather and everything going on with my Wi-Fi, that's probably why the sound was going in and out. Yeah, there you can definitely order the stamps too. I actually entertained that, but I knew I was not going to be doing as many customs anymore. So I was like, I'm not even going to go down that road. So now I just order labels off and on when I might need them for my pop-ups and stuff like that. Hi. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so my sprinkles, well, I don't have my phone view out anymore, but I can probably just show you guys that. Well, actually, I can show you how I store a lot of them. Hold on one second, I'll grab it. Usually, you can see Avery back there. Wave, Avery. Yes, say hello. Right here, honey. The camera's right there. Not so close. Back up. Say hello. You don't have to put your mouth open. This is Avery, y'all. Avery is 7. She'll be 8 next month. She is the expert. When y'all hear on the lives that little voice that's giving y'all all the tips and tricks, that's her. Hey, Jen. Thank you. You good? Mm-hmm. Okay. So she wanted to be seen, y'all. She said, I need everybody to see me. And I said, okay. Here's how I store a lot of sprinkles. So I have like all of these little plastic containers. They have like the little latches on it. I store a lot of mine like that. So, and I get these in the jewelry section at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And that's how I store different little sprinkles. Because most of the time, one bottle of sprinkles can fit in each of these little compartments on here. So they're just these little, they're made for like jewelry and stuff, for like beads. But I have a lot of my sprinkles in those. So those are really good to use. Avery's a celebrity, y'all. If she had it her way, she'd be on every single live, front and center, every day. She tries to tell me she's shy all the time, but I'm on to her game. She's not. Yeah, you can get them at Hobby Lobby. I think I got those at Michael's. They had like a sale and I used a coupon or something one day. But you can get them at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or well, I think even like Walmart, Target, stuff like that. They all have them. Okay, does anybody have any other further questions for me? And I see Avery doing something in the background behind me. This girl's crazy, y'all. She is nuts. If you guys don't have any further questions for me right now, of course, you can always comment if you run into something else you think of. You could always comment in here and I'll try to answer. How long do sprinkles last? Forever, really. I don't think that they actually have like a shelf life because, I don't know. They're just sugar, you know. Sugar kind of preserves itself. So I would say as long as the color is staying good on them, it shouldn't be like a safety issue or anything. You could even make your own sprinkles. Like sometimes if you have leftover royal icing, put it in a bag and pipe along lines of like a stiffer consistency royal, and then you can just break it up and make your own sprinkles. So if no one's ever told you that, that's a good tip for leftover royal as well. Let's see. Yeah, she's behind me. She's a nut. She's a nut, y'all. She's a nut. Between her and the 2 teens I have, bonkers. Do you use parchment on the aluminum pans? I do, Karen, sometimes, or I will actually just use paper towels. I usually put something down as a barrier between the cookie and the sheet just to kind of, it also helps absorb. That's why I like using paper towels. It helps absorb some of that butter from the cookies. So you know, it doesn't, you're not going to have like that butteriness on the cookie. It kind of absorbs that a little bit. All right, y'all, if anybody else doesn't have any further questions from me, I'm going to jump off of here because it's still storming, and I guess we need to see what's going on because I think we have some weather headed our way. We'll see. if you're interested, like I said, our doors are open right now. They're open through the 31st, and then they're closing again. They won't open up again until the end of January for the next month. So you'll want to get in on that because our Valentine's designs are adorable. Like, I'm getting ready to work on those, and I'm really excited because they're cute. Yes. Okay, we'll see.
So on January 18th, I'm gonna host a cookie.
Avery
live.
says she's gonna co-host a cookie live. So.
No, host.
Oh, host. She's gonna host a cookie live, y'all. So be on the lookout for that.
On January 18th.
On January 18th, she says. The tutorial on the Pico, Allison, if you go to our main page here that we're on right now, if you go back through the videos, you should be able to find them there. They're titled as Pico tutorial. No, Karen, I don't bake on them. They're big, like full-size sheets. They'd probably fit in my oven, but I don't bake on them. I just keep them here in the cookie room, and it's where I store cookies while they're like drying and stuff. All right. So you guys are awesome. I will not, unless you're in my crew, I won't be probably talking to you on this normal tutorial until after the New Year. So Happy New Year to everybody. I will see everybody in 2019, unless I talk to you before then. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. I hope we gave you some good information, and just be on the lookout for everything. If you have any questions, let us know. All right. And I will talk to you guys soon. Happy New Year.
Don't
Bye.
remember my live.